I like to consider myself a relatively disciplined guy, but this last weekend, the weekend before it, I discovered that that was not the case. And I'll tell you why. So I got food poisoning, and it decked me, right? I will spare you the gory details of what was going on, but a long story short was I was bedridden and not able to perform physically at the level that I typically do. And even then, my mental faculties were a little bit shot, but there were still instances where my head was sharp. Now, most people would take an instance like that as an invitation to coast. And that is exactly what I did. I will tell you why that's a problem. My demons jumped me that weekend. My insecurities, my old habits, an addiction that I thought I broke, all overtook me in that weekend because I used the fact that I was sick as an excuse, and that's what it was, to stop doing anything. Obviously, I couldn't go to the gym. Obviously, I couldn't train for my marathon. Obviously, I could not push myself physically in any capacity because I couldn't go maybe 5, 10 steps without shitting myself. But my brain was still working. My mind was still okay. Sure, I couldn't go for as long, but I could still do stuff. And me being human, I didn't do that. I was lazy. I sat here and I watched a bunch of videos on video game content, a habit that I had recently broken. But what's worse is I slipped down the rabbit hole of dirty websites over that weekend. I thought I tamed that demon. I thought I was above it. No, it was just waiting. Waiting for a moment to creep out of the shadows and jump me. And so over that weekend, I broke a very, 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 very long streak of retention. And I won't get into the nastiness that is that. But the point I'm trying to make in this video is that we all have those moments where we're set back in life. Maybe we're recovering from an injury. Maybe we're sick. Right? And what's interesting is I've read about this before in David Goggins' book, Never Finished. He talks about how a lot of people will take injury time, and that'll be the example we use here, as their invitation to coast for their suggested recovery time. They'll go and they'll do their physical recovery and therapy, and they do not have the capacity to self-motivate, or rather they don't use it. And so their recovery time is dragged out. A lot of people will take an injury or an illness as an excuse to take their foot off the gas completely and do nothing. And what's worse is I didn't just do nothing, I fell back into vices. I've since gotten back on track, which is great. But what you need to understand is that if you're going through something right now where it does hold you back physically, or it holds you back from doing the self-improvement things that you normally do, you still need to find a new 100%. I could have used all of that time to listen to podcasts and read books and study and grow my mind and come up with a slew of video ideas that I could have recorded after the fact. I didn't do that. I could have utilized that time that I was stuck at home and that I had to take off work to spend time with my family. Even if it was just I'm sitting in the chair and we're all watching a movie. I didn't do that. And you can hear the passion in my voice. I'm mad at myself for not doing that. But in that pain, there is a lesson. And the lesson is that no matter what it is you're facing, it could be injury, it could be sickness, it could simply be old age. That does not mean that you stop. That does not mean that you give up. It means that you find a new 100%. A new maximum effort level. You have to. And the only reason I say you have to is because, and I will talk about this in a future video, they say that true hell is when the person you are meets the person you could have been. I went through hell this last week because I knew that the person I was that weekend that I was sick was far removed from the person I could have been. I was conscious enough to realize that. And now, that fuel burns ever hotter. There's a new fire inside, and I'm going to use it. And if any of this struck a chord with you, I suggest you do the same. Find a new 100%. And if you want to tell me about it, join the community linked in the description. My name is Christopher Strobach. I get on here and I rant about anecdotal topics or lessons that I learned in my life because I think they're applicable to yours. If you found any value in anything that I said, by all means, the only thing that I ask is that you use it. Again, if you want to join my community down below, that sucker is free to join. It's just a Discord server. Other than that, get after it, kick some ass, and I will see you next time.